All right, boys and girls, welcome to Wednesday. We're going to go ahead and get started with learning how to describe the settings. When we're reading or when we're writing, it's always good to know how to describe the setting. And especially with our writing prompt this week that you all are working on, you can learn how to add details and information to describe your setting where your story is taking place. Remember, a setting is when and where a story takes place. And if we look at the book that we've been learning about is I Know the River Loves Me. What is the setting for that? It is the beautiful river, and we know it's in the summertime, and it takes place at a river during the summertime. So that tells us where and when the story is taking place. We're going to add some detail and get in more in depth by using this book to describe the setting. Now, it always helps to just visualize. Sometimes we do that by closing our eyes, when you could just imagine what the story has taken place and look at the pictures, and the text will help us to be able to describe the setting. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. Actually, if you want to get out your book, my book, workbook, page 79, that's your writing, or it's just called My Book. It's an actual workbook. Turn to page 79, and you can do that along with us as we do it, and you can get a pencil and drive, or you can just do this later if you want to do that on your own. But if you want to do it along with us, we can do it together, or you can do it separately. So we're going to describe the setting in our book, and we're going to take a look first at a couple pages to describe the setting. So this is what your workbook will look like. This is page 79. It's a 7 and a 9, so you can get that out. But we're going to read this together, so listen carefully. Can you zoom in on this? So it says here on page 6, we're just going to jump to page 6, where it says, she jumps and sings when she sees me. So we know that this is all taking place. It's a flowing river. It's a hot day. What's one of the reasons we know that it's hot or summer? Partly because of the way she's dressed, right? She has flip-flops on and a short sleeve shirt, so it's probably that. And the pictures that tells us that it's in a river are the waves and the fish. Now, so we see all this happening. Now I know a river can't really sing, but I can just picture it making noise and bubbling up as it's flowing through there. Can you hear it? Close your eyes and just hear the river flowing. So let's go ahead and take a look at our describe the setting. So we're going to describe the setting and we're going to write words to describe how the setting looks, how it sounds, and how it feels. So in this first one it says looks. In that setting, let's look and see how it looks. And I did that over here to describe the setting. I know the river loves me. And how does it look? What does it look like? Well, when we read the book and we look at the text, we know that it's flowing. What? It's hard for me to reach. The river that they see is flowing water. Let me try to get this better. And that's how it looks. So let's take a look and see if we can find out how it sounds. I'm going to go to another page here to describe it. I run to her side and she cools me down. So we know that the river, if it cools her down, I want you to think about that. She must be hot and it cools her down. Right? So what do you think it looks like? What do you think it feels like? She must have been hot. Look at the look on her face. The picture tells us. Can you zoom in on that? The picture tells us. So in this setting, the river is wet and refreshing. The girl looks calm. It says, I run to her side and she cools me down. What does that feel like? So let's go ahead and go to our book and write what it feels like. What does it feel like? It feels cool. So we're writing about what it feels like. I said now let's just take a look at some more information to find out what it sounds like. We have another page over here. Listen carefully. It says, I watch her change like me. In the winter, she is low and quiet. In the summer, she is full and loud. So that's kind of what it says. It says it's full and loud. So again, here's the setting. She's still dressed in summer clothes. So it must be in the summertime that this is taking place. What do you hear or see that can help us describe this setting? It's low and quiet in the winter, but is it winter time? It's not, it's summertime. And that's how we can tell. So what does it sound like in the summertime? It's full and loud, right? So how would we describe a river like that? When the river goes by, we're going to just use our own words, and we're going to write this word, bubbling. Because we learned at looking at some of those text clues that the water's bubbling over and it's splashing and it's loud and during the summertime. So you can fill all of those things in or use your own words as you read the setting. And then below on that picture, I want you to draw a picture of the setting. So I just looked at one of the pictures and drew something here. This is the river, and I did it in the style that the author illustrator had done it. So this is just a picture of the river that's just flowing and bubbly, and it looks like it's flowing water. I can just hear the sound, and it looks cool and refreshing. So that's something you all can do when you read through that book again and do that. But now I have to show you another book that we're going to be looking at, and this is a new book, and it's called Look-alike Animals. I'm going to assign this for your reading today that I want you to do. And just by looking at the cover of the picture, we see an animal here and one here, and they look alike. When two things look alike, that means they have similar attributes, that they look kind of the same. And so this book is called Look-alike Animals by Robin Bernard. And Robin is someone who loves writing informational books, especially about animals. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take a look at that. And while you do, I want you to be zooming in, because that's what we're practicing doing. I want you to zoom in and see animals and see how they are different and how they're alike. When you zoom in, look at them closely and tell me what you think. Enjoy this book.